Good afternoon. Welcome to this VMTN Tech Talk. We are going to talk about how to fast track the application development using AI ML tools. And this is a suggestion that we are going to give. And right, you can utilize these suggestions for your fast tracking application. So this is a standard disclaimer that we show at every presentation. I will pause for a few seconds just for you to glance it. Okay, so let's introduce. Right, so my name is Mukund. I am part of VMware IT. Close to 11 years in VMware, and 26 years in the IT, managing something called modern application platform in the IT side. And along with me, I have Scott. Scott, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Scott Tilney. I'm a software engineer on the emerging technologies team at VMware.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Scott. So this is the high-level agenda, right? We'll look at what are the high-level platforms that a developer will be utilizing, what are the full stack tool stacks that our developers are using, right? We'll understand the new concept, that is the ML ops, which is going to be predominantly used by all the IT people in the future. And in this case, we will be also looking at Kubeflow and the OpenCV, right? These are the high-level agenda points that we will be discussing. So let's start with the scale of operation that we have at VMware IT. Right? So on the screen you will see the number of, you can say, the high level of operation that we have at VMware IT. Particularly, I would like to highlight two things, right? The number of VMs that we are creating and destroying on a weekly basis, and the number of containers that we are creating and destroying on a weekly basis, right? So you can see that 1.5 million, that includes the R&D workloads as well, and the 3.1 million containers that we are creating and destroying on a weekly basis. This also includes the R&D. So this is the high-level scale of operation that we have. This includes the IT workloads as well, right? Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, right, we'll be looking at the platforms that a developer will be using, or generally will be using. We'll look at the collaboration tools that a developer needs to effectively collaborate with other developers. We'll look at the dev utilities and tools that generally IT developer is utilizing. The next two things are, you can say, soft skills of a developer, which we'll not be discussing in this topic, and also the main driving factor for any application development is the company priorities. So unless and until you have clear company priorities, it is very difficult for anybody to start coding and start developing any applications. Okay, so with this, let's look at the platform side. In VMware IT side, we have divided the platforms into in generic four pillars, sub pillars. One is the underneath infrastructure, wherein we are using Kubernetes based platform, PCF and TKG is the foundation. Then for the CI/CD, we realize automation is used. We realize code stream is also used. On the code security side, various tools are used. I have depicted two things. One is what is used in VMware IT, as well as the open source, which is equivalent, we can use. And then, of course, last but not least, the monitoring side. After this, as a full stack developer, what are the tools that the developer is generally utilizing, and we also listed out open source tools which a developer can utilize. So this is traditionally for your all application development, which is as of now happening. In future, all the developer have to also now look at AI ML related workloads. So in near future, or already, you might see that ML ops become the primary driving factor for all the IT related workloads. So in this, this is the high level picture, I have depicted, starting with your data, ML, how the apps are getting used or getting developed by using the ML programs, and the operation side of it. So this is going to be, you can say, the new buzzword in the market, and then there are various tools which are which can be used for the ML ops. So for this, let me hand it over to Scott so that he can take it forward.
Thank you, Mukund. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm Scott Tilney. I'm a software engineer on the emerging technologies team at VMware. Today I'm going to talk about 3 open source machine learning technologies that you could use to accelerate your application development. So as you all know, the adoption of cloud native technologies using Kubernetes has accelerated rapidly across enterprise. Machine learning and data science has also accelerated across enterprise as well. The problem is a lot of teams lack the skills, software, tools, and machine learning operations methodology needed in order to bring your machine learning models into production. It's difficult to have your data scientists become Kubernetes experts, and it's difficult for your Kubernetes experts to become data scientists. So at the intersection of Kubernetes and machine learning is Kubeflow. Kubeflow is an open source machine learning platform for data science and machine learning operations. Kubeflow is not a single piece of software, rather it's many services that come together to create this platform running on Kubernetes. Of course, the advantage of running on Kubernetes is you can run it on any public or private cloud. It's portable, so you write once and reproduce everywhere. And if you're used to working with machine learning, you're used to working with a lot of different services that need to interact with each other. This is a perfect use case for microservices. With Kubernetes, of course, you get the advantage of scaling, so you can scale up quickly for the more compute-intensive tasks, such as training, and scale down for the less intensive tasks, such as inference. Kubeflow supports both GPUs and TPUs, so if your Kubernetes cluster is installed on has access to nodes with GPUs and TPUs installed on them, you'll be able to leverage those, greatly improving the time it takes to train your models and increasing performance during inference as well. Kubeflow has a centralized dashboard where you can run and build your models using Jupyter notebooks, and you could use GPUs and TPUs if you have them available as well. You can manage your Kubeflow pipelines through this dashboard, build and deploy your machine learning workflows based on Docker containers, and you could manage and automate your hyperparameters using Katib. So I encourage you all to take a look at Kubeflow. It could really help you streamline your machine learning development, deployment, manage your workflows, and this is really a great opportunity to embrace the future of machine learning operations as well. Now, I understand not every company or team will have access to data scientists and machine learning experts in order to build these models into your applications. But it doesn't mean those teams should be left behind. The fact of the matter is there's also a lot of open source tools and software that you could use and integrate machine learning models into your applications without having to hire machine learning domain experts. And I'm going to talk about 2 of those now. The first one is OpenCV. OpenCV is a powerful open source library for computer vision and image processing tasks. It has a simplified implementation. It provides a vast array of pre-built functions and algorithms for object detection and recognition, facial detection and facial recognition in both video and images. With OpenCV, you could do rapid prototyping. So developers can quickly create prototypes and proofs of concepts, enabling fast iteration and refinement. It's a cost-effective solution. Since you don't need to have the domain expertise in machine learning, you could save a lot of money in recruiting and training while still being able to incorporate machine learning, computer vision into your applications. There are many diverse use cases where you could use this technology. So for example, in automotive, you could think pedestrian detection or driver assistance systems. In healthcare, you could think object detection in X-rays or MRIs. E-commerce and retail, you could easily build a barcode scanner into a mobile application, or do item search and recognition in a mobile application as well. The really great thing about OpenCV is the cross-platform support. So you could write in Java, C++, Python, and you could run it on Mac OS, Windows, Linux. So even if you just have one developer on your team, you likely have somebody who will be able to integrate with this technology. So I encourage you all to explore OpenCV and try to find use cases where you could incorporate computer vision into your applications. The next technology I want to talk about is Rasa. Rasa is a leading open conversational AI platform for building chatbots. With Rasa, you could also do rapid prototyping. It's very easy for developers to quickly build conversational chatbots and applications where you could very quickly iterate on your ideas. The thing that I personally loved about Rasa as a developer is the low to no code approach. The reason this is so great is even a subject matter expert could train the models using Rasa. This frees up a lot of the developers' time from having to spend time on training and tuning the models, and the developers can now focus their energy on building the applications that integrate with Rasa rather than spending a lot of time training and tuning models. Some real-world use cases where we've used Rasa at VMware is to improve colleague experience. So we built an application called Genie, which was a colleague assistant chatbot at VMware. We were able to do things like book conference rooms for colleagues. You could schedule a meeting with a colleague with Rasa. You could check what's on the lunch menu at our campus cafeteria. And you could look up colleague contact information as well. Some other real-world use cases where you could use this software is in customer support. So for example, you could improve response times and enhance customer experience. Sales and marketing, you could do lead generation and product recommendations. And that's something we did at VMware as well. We built a SKU advisor for our sales colleagues so they could recommend SKUs quickly and easily to our customers. You could also do internal automation with like HR inquiries and IT support. And that's another area where we used Rasa at VMware as well. We built a chatbot that could answer IT questions for our colleagues. And this did two things for us. One, it created a better experience for our colleagues. They were able to get answers to their questions a lot more quickly. And two, it freed up a lot of time for our tech support as well. They didn't have to keep on answering some of these more common questions. Instead, we're able to have a bot answer these questions instead. So I encourage you all to take a look at Rasa. It's very simple to integrate with this software. And again, even a subject matter expert, somebody who does not have an engineering background, could build a bot using Rasa. So I know that was a lot to cover really quickly. If you have any more questions regarding this presentation, you could scan this QR code and contact our VMware on VMware team. They could help set up a session where we could do a deeper dive into anything we covered today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No, I mean, we're done. I mean,